It's about 30 million lines of code in a modern web browser. If you were to print that out on standard A4 paper and stack it up, the pile would be taller than a 10-story building. Now, imagine your job is to find a single typo, one misplaced semicolon, or a slightly flawed logic gate hidden somewhere in that skyscraper of paper. If you miss it, a stranger 3,000 miles away can remotely access your bank account, read your private messages, or shut down a power grid. For the last 40 years, this has been the artisanal reality of cybersecurity. We've relied on incredibly smart humans to manually scan these digital skyscrapers, looking for vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. It's a game we've been losing, mostly because code grows exponentially while the number of elite security researchers grows linearly. We've been living in a world of security debt, just hoping the interest doesn't come due all at once. But something shifted recently, a change so fundamental it feels like we've moved from hunting germs with a magnifying glass to inventing the world's first industrial-scale antibiotic. It's a shift centered around a concept we're starting to call the Claude Mythos, and it begins with a specific research breakthrough that shouldn't have been possible. This isn't just about better software. It's about a new kind of industrial-scale disinfection that is currently being tested on the very infrastructure of our digital lives. And the results coming out of the early trials suggest that the gap between the hackers and the defenders is about to become a chasm. But while this sounds like a victory, it raises a much deeper question. What happens to the software ecosystem when the vulnerability becomes an endangered species? The turning point came from a research initiative at Anthropic called Glasswing. To understand why this matters, you have to understand how we used to find bugs. Traditionally, you'd use a fuzzer, a program that just throws random data at software until it crashes. Or you'd have a red team of humans spend weeks reverse engineering a specific component. It was slow, expensive, and deeply inefficient. Anthropic decided to see if a large language model, specifically a version of Claude, could be trained not just to write code, but to understand the intent and the flaws of code at a structural level. This wasn't just Claude 3.5 guessing the next word. This was a specialized implementation designed for vulnerability research. They weren't looking for simple syntax errors. They were looking for logic flaws, the kind of bugs where the code runs perfectly fine, but the way it runs creates a backdoor. What they found was that when you give an AI this kind of specialized security lens, it doesn't just find a few bugs. It finds categories of bugs. It starts to see patterns across millions of lines of code that a human eye would take months to correlate. We aren't just talking about a better tool, we're talking about a shift from artisanal bug hunting to an automated, industrial-grade cleaning service. But disinfection is a heavy word. It implies that the software we use every day is currently infected. And as it turns out, that's exactly the case. The most striking evidence of this mythos in action happened when these techniques were pointed at Mozilla Firefox. Now, Firefox is one of the most scrutinized pieces of software on the planet. It's open source, it's been around for decades, and it's been picked over by the best security researchers in the world. It is, by all accounts, a hard target. Using these new AI-driven disinfection techniques, researchers identified 271 bugs in Firefox. Think about that number for a second. That isn't a handful of minor tweaks. That's 271 distinct vulnerabilities in a platform that millions of people trust with their data every single day. These included memory safety issues, the holy grail for exploits, and complex logic flaws that had survived years of manual audits. The unintuitive truth here is that these bugs didn't exist because the Firefox developers were lazy. They existed because the code is too complex for any human mind, or even any group of human minds, to fully simulate in their heads. Claude didn't just find them. It understood the cascading failures that would allow them to be exploited. It performed a deep audit that would have cost a corporation millions of dollars in consulting fees, and it did it with a level of thoroughness that humans simply can't match. But finding the bugs is only half the battle. The real breakthrough isn't just the discovery, it's the timing. And this is where the strategic advantage shifts heavily in favor of the good guys for the first time in a generation. In the world of cybersecurity, there is a concept called time to exploit. It's the window between a vulnerability being created and an attacker figuring out how to weaponize it. Historically, the attackers have had the edge. They only need to find one hole, while the defenders have to plug every hole. The Claude Mythos has introduced what researchers are calling an early warning system. Based on the Glasswing data, vendors and platforms are now finding these vulnerabilities an average of 6 months before they could realistically be discovered by malicious actors. Why is 6 months such a big deal? Because it changes the physics of a 0 day. Usually, a 0 day is a crisis. It's a fire drill. You're patching while the building is already on fire. But with a 6-month lead time, you aren't patching a crisis, you're performing preventative maintenance. You can refactor the code, test the patch across 1,000 different hardware configurations, and push the update quietly in the background. By the time a cybercriminal or a state-sponsored hacker group spends the thousands of man-hours required to find that specific bug, they find nothing. The door they were planning to kick in has already been replaced with a solid brick wall, and they didn't even know it was ever a door. This leads to a massive streamlining of cybersecurity efforts, but it also creates a very specific, very frustrating problem for the world's scammers. We tend to think of hackers as geniuses in hoodies, but a huge portion of the cybercrime economy is actually built on low-hanging fruit. It's automated bots looking for known vulnerabilities in unpatched software. It's script kiddies using pre-made tools to exploit common logic flaws. The industrial-scale disinfection we're talking about is essentially spraying for bugs at the ecosystem level. As major platforms, browsers, operating systems, cloud providers start using these AI models to scrub their legacy code, the easy exploits are disappearing. Scammers are going to stumble, not because they've lost their talent, but because their ROI, their return on investment, is crashing. If it takes you 6 months of work to find a bug that the vendor patched 4 months ago, you've just wasted half a year of resources for zero gain. For the first time, the defense is scaling faster than the offense. However, we shouldn't be naive. This doesn't mean cybercrime ends. It just means it becomes much more expensive. The low-level criminal is getting priced out of the market. But while we're busy cleaning up the messes of the past, something even more interesting is happening to the way we build the future. If we can use AI to find every mistake we've ever made, what happens when we use that same knowledge to make sure we never make them again? Claude Mythos isn't just a janitor, it's becoming an architect. The learnings from the Glasswing project and the Firefox disinfection aren't just being filed away in a report. They are being fed back into the training data for the next generation of AI coding platforms. When you use an AI to help you write code today, it might warn you about a syntax error, but tomorrow's AI, informed by the industrial disinfection era, will act more like a digital immune system. It will recognize a coding pattern that historically led to a buffer overflow in 2004 and stop you from writing it in 2026. We are moving toward secure by design by default. Instead of writing messy code and then trying to fix the security later, the AI models will simply refuse to generate unhealthy code. They've seen the 271 bugs in Firefox. They've seen the exploits that took down power grids. They are learning the genetic markers of a vulnerability. The future of software isn't just bug-free, that's an impossible goal, but it will be disinfected. It will be code that has been through an industrial-scale scrub before a single user ever clicks install. This doesn't just make our computers faster, it makes the entire digital world fundamentally more stable. It addresses the technical debt we've been accruing since the 1970s. It's easy to get lost in the technical jargon of LLMs and memory safety, but the unintuitive truth of Claude Mythos is actually quite human. For the last few decades, Our relationship with technology has been defined by a quiet, underlying anxiety. We've all felt it, that hesitation when entering a credit card number, that weird glitch in an app that makes you wonder if you've been hacked. We've lived in a digital world that was built quickly, often at the expense of being built safely. We've been living in a house where the locks were made of cardboard, and we just hoped no one would notice. Industrial-scale disinfection is the process of replacing those cardboard locks with steel. It's the boring, invisible, massive-scale work of making the internet boring again, in the best possible way. A world where things just work, and where the structural integrity of our digital lives is no longer a matter of luck. We're not there yet. The transition will take years. There are millions of miles of dirty code still running the world's banks and hospitals. But for the first time, we have a tool that is actually big enough for the job. We aren't just fighting the bugs anymore. We're changing the environment so that the bugs can't survive in the first place. It's a massive cleanup effort, and it might just be the most important thing AI ever does for us. Because while generative AI gets all the headlines for creating new things, it might be disinfectant AI that actually saves the things we've already built. If this look into Claude Mythos and the future of digital security changed how you think about the software on your phone or your laptop, you might find our other deep dives into the mechanics of the AI revolution just as interesting. Thanks for watching.